The wind moved slow across the valley that evening, carrying the scent of rain and the sound of a restless horse. Silver Creek lay quiet under a bruised sunset, and the dust from the road shimmered gold before sinking into twilight. That was the moment when a stranger rode into town, and before long, the whole place would remember his name. But to tell it right, we have to begin with the woman who owned the land and the horse that no man could ride. Her name was Clara Vaughn, the widow of the late Ethan Vaughn, once the proudest rancher in 3 counties. Years back, she and Ethan had raised the finest stallions west of the Mississippi, but when the flood came and took his life, it also took the laughter out of her. People said her heart turned to stone the night she buried him. She kept one horse, the wildest one, the last that Ethan had ever trained, or tried to. The stallion's name was Thunder Soul, black as a starless sky, muscles coiled with anger and fear. No one could break him. Cowboys came from every corner, hoping to earn her respect or her fortune. 25 tried. 25 were thrown into the dirt. Some limped away with broken ribs, one with a shattered arm, and another never walked quite right again. After each failure, Clara would stand at the fence, her face carved out of cold steel, and say in the same voice, "If you're a real cowboy, prove it on my stallion." Word spread, and soon her challenge became legend. Some said she was cruel, others said she was testing hearts the way life had tested hers. But no one could tell what she truly wanted, until the day Jesse Cole showed up. He rode into Silver Creek with nothing but a gray gelding and a scar that ran from his jaw to his temple. He didn't talk much, didn't drink, and didn't smile. In the saloon he sat alone, sipping black coffee while the piano stumbled through an old tune. The men inside were already telling stories about the widow's impossible horse. 25 men down, one laughed, and she's still daring the next fool. Jesse looked up, slow and steady, his voice quiet as dust. Where can a man find this widow? By late afternoon, he reached her ranch. The sun burned low, painting everything copper. Clara was by the corral, hat tilted, watching Thunder Soul slam his hooves against the fence. She didn't flinch when Jesse approached. "You must be the next one," she said, eyes sharp as a hawk's. "I'm not here for a reward," he answered. "Just heard there's a horse that can't be ridden." She crossed her arms. "Plenty heard that before you." They all went home on stretchers. Jesse dismounted, dust falling from his boots. "Maybe they came to win. I came to listen." Something in that sentence caught her off guard. She gave a small, humorless laugh. "Listen to a horse? You'll hear nothing but fury. Sometimes fury's just fear that nobody understood." For a moment she said nothing. Then she nodded toward the corral. "He's all yours. Try not to die on my property." Thunder Soul tossed his head, eyes blazing. Jesse didn't reach for a rope or whip. He just leaned on the fence, quiet, letting the stallion breathe. Minutes passed, maybe hours, before the horse stopped pacing. Jesse spoke softly, almost a whisper. "You miss him, don't you? The one who trained you last. He's gone. I lost mine too." From her porch, Clara watched. She had seen countless men bark orders at that horse, but never one who spoke like that. When darkness fell, Jesse didn't leave. He stayed by the fence through the night. Coyotes howled in the hills, and the lantern on the post flickered. He told the horse about losing his brother in a cattle drive gone wrong, about guilt that stuck to him like mud. The stallion lowered his head, ears twitching. It wasn't taming, it was trust being born. By dawn, Clara came down with coffee. "You still alive?" she asked. "Alive enough," Jesse said, smiling faintly. "He let me touch his mane last night. No one's ever done that. Then maybe no one ever tried to understand him." Clara studied him quietly, her expression softening for the first time in years. "You talk like a preacher, Mr. Cole." "No, ma'am. Just a man tired of fighting what don't need fighting. The third morning, he saddled Thunder Soul for the first time. The ranch hands gathered, whispering bets. Clara crossed her arms, hiding her worry. The stallion stomped, snorted, every muscle ready to explode. Jesse mounted slow, steady. For a heartbeat, everything froze. Then Thunder Soul bucked with all the power of a storm. But Jesse didn't fight him. He moved with him, letting the horse rage, holding firm but gentle. Dust rose like smoke, men shouted, someone cursed. Then, silence. The stallion stopped, sides heaving. Jesse leaned forward and whispered something only the horse could hear. Thunder Soul exhaled long and low. He rode around the corral once, twice. The crowd went silent. Clara's lips parted, disbelief in her eyes. He'd done it. The 26th man had done what no one could. When he dismounted, Thunder Soul followed him like a shadow. Clara stepped closer, voice shaking. How? I told him the truth, Jesse said. That we'd both been carrying ghosts too long. For the first time since her husband died, Clara smiled. It was small, fragile, but real. You proved it, Cowboy. You're the first. I didn't come to prove anything, ma'am. Just wanted peace. She looked at him for a long time. Peace, she repeated softly, I think we both needed that. After that day, Jesse stayed on the ranch. He helped mend fences, trained colts, fixed the old barn roof. Thunder Soul followed him everywhere. The folks in town called him the man who broke the unbreakable, but Jesse never cared much for names. He cared for the quiet, the sunrise over the valley, and the sound of Clara's laughter slowly finding its way back. One evening, while they were closing the gates, Clara said, "You could leave now if you wanted. You've earned enough to start your own spread." "I could," Jesse said, "but I reckon this place still needs fixing." "Maybe I do too." She looked at him, eyes glimmering with the soft light of understanding. "Then stay, Jesse. Not as a hand. As someone who reminds me what living feels like." Months passed. Together they rebuilt everything, barns, fences, trust. The widow who once challenged the world now rode beside the cowboy who never wanted to prove a thing. And Thunder Soul, that proud beast, ran free across the hills but always came back at dusk, just like the two souls who had finally found home. Years later, when travelers passed through Silver Creek, they'd hear the tale of the widow Vaughn and the cowboy who tamed her stallion. Some said it was love, others called it luck, but those who truly listened knew better. It wasn't about taming horses or winning hearts. It was about healing, one broken creature recognizing another. They say if you ride near that valley on a quiet morning, you can still hear hoofbeats echoing through the mist, and a woman's voice carried on the wind, whispering softly, "Prove it, cowboy." And maybe somewhere out there, a man's laughter answers back, warm and certain, already did. This is the story of courage without pride, of gentleness stronger than rage, and of love born not from victory but from understanding. Thank you for listening to this tale of the frontier, where every sunset hides a memory and every whisper carries an echo. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if the story touched your heart. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from tonight? Until next time, this is Frontier Echoes, reminding you that in the wide silence of the West, sometimes the hardest battles are the ones fought inside the heart.